if I'm being honest with myself, every bad chick that I dealt with, or one that had a red flag or something, that something ended up happening bad, it always was a sign that I ignored, that I chose to ignore. So I can't just say it came out of nowhere. It's a sense situation where like the sex was good, or I like the girl too much to overlook those things. But I can never just say that it came out of nowhere, because it never does.
I agree. I can say that about every girl that I've dated, that and I'm not saying that I was always perfect either, but every girl that was just on like on some toxic shit, that was like on some crazy stuff, like there was always signs.
Always a
I
sign.
think
Absolutely.
you
I'm
just
sorry.
don't.
Like that's why I gotta disagree with you 100%. There's always signs.
You just don't know what degree they're gonna go to, though. Like you don't expect somebody to throw the things that you open up to them about back in your face. Because I didn't always have people that did that to me. You just you can see that they're toxic, but they're toxic in different ways. You just don't know what lengths they're gonna go to.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, there's, when something doesn't work out, when somebody's on some real, I'm just saying there's always signs. Now you may put on your rose-colored glasses because you really, really rock with them.
No, that's true.
But there's always signs, and you got that's where it comes to putting accountability on yourself. Because like I had to instantly agree with Q. Every single girl that was like toxic, again, I wasn't always perfect either, that was toxic on some crazy stuff, and I kept messing with her, there was always a sign, and I chose to ignore it. It was on me.
But I have a question then for you. Because they're not always red flags. Maybe they're yellow flags. Maybe they're not things that you just cut off right away. You may have a sign, but it's like,
Can I give you some examples of this? Right. So anything that's not, I'll give you an example of this. Okay. So if you get in an argument with a guy, and he just gets angry with you, but still talks in a respectful manner, as opposed to a guy saying "FUB," that's why you ain't shit, this, that, and the third. One is manageable, the other is not.
right. That's what
So
I'm
if you
saying.
have like let's say a pink flag, I still say you cut it off at that point, because, like I said, things get worse with time, not better. That pink flag going to turn red very fast.
You don't think you can ever like some things just can't be fixed over time, like because nobody's gonna be perfect.
Give me an example of something that can be fixed over time. I just gave you one. Like a guy just
No,
getting
I
upset,
agree.
having a temper. A guy can have a temper. What's he do with that temper though?
Right.
Does he just like get off and drive off and like disappear for a little while? That can be managed, as opposed to a guy that's starting to like, he breaks things and starts kicking you or something like that. That can't be managed.
No, I agree. But I mean, like, sorry, who was talking?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, like things like somebody who wasn't exposed to the type of life that you're used to, and their ambition isn't on par with what you're used to. But for me, like if you don't have ambition, that's a flag for me. But maybe they don't know about certain things, and you can introduce them to them.
But hold on, that's another thing that I'm saying. Like you're saying their ambition is not on par, or you can introduce them to things. That's already a walking red flag to me, because that's not your role as a woman.
Yeah.
As I always say, that a man has to have that dog in him. You can't put that dog into a man. That's why it's always the king and the queen system. I can make you a queen. You can't make me a king. Yeah. So just by not having that ambition, it's already a walking red flag to me.
He should already have a direction, and then like you can help him with things that you know about the direction that he's going in. But he should already have a direction. He should already be working towards something. If he's like sitting around hardly doing anything, you shouldn't be talking to him to begin with.
And to preface that too, that's not saying a man has to start being a multi-millionaire. Does he have direction? Does he have vision? Is he working towards something? That's something that you can help a man out with. And I always say that women optimize men. So let's say a man he might have that dog, he might have that ambition, he might have that drive in him, but he's extremely unorganized.
Yeah.
You go through, do his laundry, organize the workbook, make his office a little bit cleaner. You're optimizing that man's ability to make more money at that point, but you're not putting that dog inside him, though. That's all you was inside him. You just come through and help him run more efficiently. That's how it should be. Now, a man not being organized, that's not a red flag. But a man not having direction or purpose, that's a huge red flag.
What about like financial literacy, like credit cards, investment? That's what I'm saying.
Huge red flag.
Now I will say this, and this is what I wanted to say a little bit earlier. And this is, I want to make this very clear. Ignorance is not an excuse, but ignorance sometimes does come into play. Sometimes when but this is on, you can only get us a slide one time though.
Right.
Like sometimes ignorance, you just don't know. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. There's things that I know now about relationships that I had no idea. But the thing is, it's like when somebody told me, like, nah, man, this is how you treat your girl. Like, nah, this is best to do it like this, or it's best to carry it like that. I'm like, damn, okay. Like, that part of my brain was never open. But then once I saw it, I said, that's where I fucked up.
And
I'm not gonna fuck up like that again.
And that's where I agree with you, Hig, though, because like, not to cut you off, bro, my fault, but I agree with you on that. It's like the ignorance of not knowing. But what does the guy do with that ignorance? Does he apologize and come back better, or does he get hard to pause and just ignore that? That's my thing.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. And that's why I say ignorant. Even being ignorant is still not an excuse, because at the end of the day, reality is going to hit you. Just because you don't know that reality is going to hit you, it's still going to hit you.
Yeah.
But I do feel where you come from, because sometimes ignorance is things at play. You know what I mean?